This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Show up to your first, you told us the story 2 weeks ago. You show up to your first TV and you see Ole and he's like, oh, damn, they were right. You do look like me. Your name is Arn Anderson. And ta-da, you're Arn Anderson. What was your relationship like with Matt Borne before you guys moved to Georgia?
Before it was fine. Now I came to find out as time went on, Matt, I think had some animosity about me getting that spot, because think about this for a second. In the blink of an eye, I went from being first match, Marty Lundy.
Yeah.
Now I was a partner with Matt Borne and Paul Ellering. I was an Anderson. And for those guys that weren't in that meeting or weren't privy, that were working there, they didn't know the difference. They thought I was a cousin to Ole Anderson, which meant he was the booker and part owner. So now you're in a little bit of a much better spot, like that's Ole's cousin. But it was a heat spot too, because, he's giving his cousin a push.
Right.
Which I really wasn't his cousin. He just made me his cousin. No relation. So there was so many dynamics going around, and Matt, as time went by, I could figure out that he just didn't think I'd earned that spot. And it was a hell of a spot to be in, because they were getting us ready for their new tag titles, which would have been their world tag titles, but it was called the national tag titles, which they were getting ready to have a tournament for and crown new champions. And that was the goal for Matt, Paul, and I.
So Matt Borne is a few years older than you. I mean, he had been wrestling probably 3 years longer than you.
Probably more than that. I think he had more experience than that, but I may not be.
I think he started in late 78. You started in early 82. So we'll round up, split the difference.
4 years.
Yeah,
4 years.
4 years.
And in those days, that's 300 plus days a year, Conrad. So that's that's 1,200 matches minimum. Yeah. More experience than me.
Ole had his fingers in a lot of pies here in professional wrestling in the early 80s.
Yeah, we're going to talk to that whenever you feel like getting there. But it was, I'm a huge fan of what ifs, and I got a hell of a what if.
Well, let's hear it now.
Well, so we're going to skip over a lot of stuff, which we'll come back to as far as the territorial stuff and working there and all that. But Matt got in some trouble 1 week before they were going to crown us their tag champions. And Ole fired him. Well, when he fired him, Ole got tunnel vision, and other than getting another partner for me and us carrying on, he said, I don't really know what I'm going to do with you. I had you and Matt in mind for that spot. We'll see. I may have to turn you babyface or something else. That's when Ole went to Minnesota and went to the gym and found the Road Warriors. Had Matt Borne not gotten fired, that trip would have not taken place. Not to say down the road that the Road Warriors might have became the Road Warriors, but they wouldn't have at that moment in time. That's pretty heavy, isn't it?
Huge.
That's a what if. If Matt would have just kept his nose clean for 1 more week, everything could have changed. There might have never been the Road Warriors. That's pretty stout.
Especially considering what their legacy is going to become. I mean,
my God, tag team of the forever.
Of millennium. Yeah. I mean, it was, you want to talk about all-time great gimmicks. And I know people talk about The Undertaker, and Lord knows you and I are never going to argue with that. But the Road Warriors have got to be right up there. I mean, unbelievable what they brought to a card, to a crowd, to an arena. When Iron Man hit and those guys come out with the face paint and the spikes, it was a concert.
Yeah, we give you chills being in the ring. and watching them come down that aisle, it was horrifying, but it was exciting too.
And Ole is the guy who really deserves the credit for all that. And we're going to talk about Ole a lot.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.